moonlight by her window, she saw the demon leap up like a curl of smoke to seize little Maria. Margareta shouted at the vile thing, and without thinking she grabbed a sapphire in her hand and hurled it at the creature. Light caught and hung on the jewel as it arced through the air, making it glitter like a falling star. The demon was transfixed. He tossed his prey aside and leapt into the canal after the beautiful jewel. Maria bounced along the cobblestones. She had a very sore bottom and a skinned knee, but she hurried on to school with the other students, safe and sound, and grateful she'd been spared. Margareta tried to tell her friends and neighbors about what she'd seen. They listened attentively, for Margareta was a practical girl who had never been given to fancy. Yet no one quite believed her strange tale. They agreed she must have a fever and recommended she retire to bed. Margareta did go to her room, and there she sat at her desk, vigilantly watching the bridge. The very next morning, when the demon tried to seize Maria again, Margareta tossed a big emerald pendant into the canal. The demon threw Maria into a doorway and leapt into the water to retrieve the jewel. Now, Margareta knew this must not go on. One day she would be too slow, and the demon would take another child, so she set her mind to the problem. She worked all night upon an extraordinary jewel, a diamond brooch so heavy she could barely lift it. As dawn broke, she used a pulley and a winch to raise the brooch off her desk and heft it out of her window until it dangled above the canal, straining the rope that held it. In the shop below, her father's customers wondered at the noises coming through the ceiling, but with children disappearing right and left, there were other things to concern them. This time, when the children approached the bridge, Margareta was ready. As soon as the demon leapt up, she released the rope. The brooch plummeted into the canal with a tremendous splash, but even the quick glimpse the demon had of it was enough to drive him mad with need. Down the demon went into the dark waters, all thoughts of children to devour abandoned, its claws reaching out for the diamond at the bottom of the canal. But the brooch was too heavy to lift. Anyone with sense would have left the jewel there, but demons have no sense, only appetite. It had seen the sparkle of the brooch as it fell, and knew this stone was more lovely and necessary than any it had seen before. The demon died wrestling with the brooch, and its drowned corpse floated to the surface of the canal. The merchant council skinned its body and used its hide as an altar cloth at the church of Barter. It's said that many years later, when the great drought came and the canals ran dry, a stash of jewels was found at the bottom of the canal, including a brooch so heavy no one could lift it, and beneath that pile of gems, a heap of children's bones. Every year lanterns are lit along the canal and prayers are said to Margareta, the patron saint of thieves and lost children. Sancta Anastasia. Anastasia was a pious girl who lived in the village of Semna. Known as a great beauty, she had red hair bright as a field of new poppies, and green eyes that shone like polished glass. This was what the villagers remarked upon when they saw her at market, whispering what a shame it was that Anastasia spent all her time lighting candles for her poor dead mother in the church, and tending to her old father in their sad little house. A girl like that should be seen and celebrated, they said, and warned she would grow old before her time. But the villagers lost their taste for gossip when Semna was struck down with the wasting plague. They hadn't the strength to go to market or even church any longer. They lay in their beds, gripped by fever. No food could tempt them, and even when they were force-fed, they withered and eventually died. Anastasia did not sicken. Her father, afraid their neighbors would brand her a witch, kept his daughter in the house, hiding her plump limbs and rosy cheeks. But one morning her father would not rise from bed. He would eat neither meat nor bread nor any of the delicacies Anastasia prepared for him. A voice spoke to her as she knelt by the bed, praying to the saints for her father's life to be spared. When Anastasia rose, she knew what to do. She found her mother's sharpest knife, made a long, slender...